History is always written by the winners. Early in the 19th century, European scholars and thinkers and governments decided to revise ancient human history. This new history inserted these Europeans as natives of various continents and countries, as well as Europe itself, in an outright mindless intellectual coup d'etat. They declared that they were also the creators of men's original civilizations found across the whole earth, including Africa, in ancient Egypt, in Zimbabwe, Mohenjo Daro, Mesopotamia, and everywhere else. But archaeology and DNA now has shocked them to the core. Because as you can see from this diagram, from this website, it's quite clear that Europeans as a people are a younger race than we thought. A new study suggested. You can go to this website and study this and look at all this. It's modern Europe's genetic history starts in Stone Age. Europeans as a people are younger than what we thought. DNA recovered from ancient skeletons reveals that the genetic makeup of modern Europe was established 4,500 BCE in the mid-Neolithic, or 6,500 years ago from present, and not by the first farmers who arrived in the area around 7,500 ago, or by earlier hunter-gatherers as thought. So this is quite clear. This is number one proof of this website. Number two proof is that in April of 2013, National Geographic published a study which admitted that Africans were the original settlers of Europe, and also admitted that modern Europeans are newcomers. You can go to this website, you can look for this magazine, and the evidence is quite clear. So our quest and search is to find the oldest race possible. Ancient Egypt is older than Babylon, and Ethiopia is older than both. Like I said, the ancient Greeks stole everything from Egypt. So anything Greece did is irrelevant. So anything that Europeans claim to have done and achieved is irrelevant. You can get this quote from this website. From the oldest race on earth. We must be excited because according to every major ancient historian, self-testimony and honest archaeology, written and recorded testimony, the kingdom of ancient Ethiopia, this one, which is the whole of Africa, Argiosamba, southern or around the Nile and all the rivers, is older than ancient Egypt. What would this mean to us? Does it mean that we are the oldest race? Does it mean that Europe is not? More evidence that we are the oldest group comes from a grooved sphere which looks like this, from pre-Cambrian periods far back, with these lines. You know, scholars are saying this is natural, these lines are natural, but these are not natural lines. From this book, The Hidden History of Human Race, Forbidden Archaeology, Michael A. Kramer and Richard L. Thompson, we understand that the human race originated in Southern Africa, because this stone was found in South Africa. Hundreds of metallic spheres which look like this, with 3 parallel grooves running round its equator. According to scientists, the spheres are found in pyrophyllite rock, which is mined in Western Transvaal, South Africa. And these are 2.8 billion years old. So think about that. So we have eliminated the Europeans out of the picture. And we have eliminated the so-called Sumerians out of the picture, the white ones anyway. And we have included only people of Southern Africa 2.8 billion years ago. So who made these lines? Who made this? They are a very hard surface, 5.0 on the Mohs scale, that can't even be scratched by steel and have a fibrous interior. These obviously were man-made objects. They were discovered around 1984. You can go to this website again to read more about this. You can go to Graham Hancock's website, indicated here, to read more about this. So these spheres are not natural objects and their origin is unknown. They obviously were created by intelligent human beings. But who were these intelligent human beings? Oldest intelligent human beings, we find them here in Southern Africa, most of them. They are also found in Central Africa. The Damara, the Himba, the Wambo, the Hwe, the Shua, the Twa, the Ta, the Guju, the Swana, the Nama, the Bantus. The ancient African Twa, Khoisan, Basarwa Bantus of Southern Africa come out as the oldest people in history and emerge on the earth as the original ancestors of the Bantus. Highly intelligent humans used these unknown and no easy metals on planet Earth over 2.8 billion years ago, which humanity stretches that far. Much further back has been revealed by mainstream scientists, archaeologists, anthropologists, and geneticists to be the Twa, to be us, our ancestors. On the other hand, if we are to discover this race, we have obligations to preserve the physiological nature of this race and uphold their intellectual and philosophy and intelligence. They spread all over the earth. The African Twa people, the original from Twa peoples of Africa who migrated to Ireland over 10,000 years ago, more than what Europeans genetics have proved, possessed advanced knowledge of metallurgy and medicine, which Caucasians thought to be magical. These are black people, these are Bantus, these are Africans. They are found all over the earth in each specific place. Sometimes they are called Negritos, sometimes they are called Negroids, but they are Africans, they are Bantus. These are the skulls now of people found all over the earth. All over the earth. You see, in Ethiopia 600,000 years ago, but remember, we've got 2.8 billion years ago. The Twa, the Mbuti, the Asua, the Efe, the Kango, the Aka, the Baka, the Barunde, the Kola, the Mongos, Twa, the Great Lakes, Twa, Bongo, here, Bazen, Creole. We are the oldest race on earth. There are no two questions about that. So you see, these are Africans here. They call them Bushmen. These are Bantus, all of us. And out of that, then we gave the Caucasians birth. And out of that, we got the Oceania and the New Guinean. And out of that, we got the Japanese, the Chinese, and East Asians. And out of that, we get the Native Americans, straight Brazil, Alaskan Indian, Eskimos. We are the source. We are the oldest. This should give you more excitement. The Twa, they are a Bantu people. Don't listen to anything else. Ancient historians agree. They look like that. This is part of them look like that. Some of them are darker, shorter, and taller. Albert Chechwa's signs and symbols of the primordial man states that the Pygmies are Nu, Bantu, Muntu, Twa or Bespta Itsites are the original and the oldest living people on the face of the planet Earth. Our ancestors. We quote Eusebius Chronicles. The Naya Negroes were probably one of the first of the Anrut race, Anu race. That was the first and oldest race of men after the Pygmies, as both Eusebius and Censelius state that amongst the Egyptians there was a certain tablet called the Old Chronicle containing 30 dynasties in 113 descents during a period of 36,525 years. These are some of the books that were banned by Christians and Muslims and Arabs and others in ancient Egypt. Oldest humans are Bantu. The pygmy who was created in Central Africa and placed there by the creator of our ancestors originated there, and from them originated and were carried throughout the world all the mythologies. The most primitive of mythologies, a mode of representing certain elemental powers by means of living types which were superhuman, like the natural phenomena. The foundations of mythology were laid in the pre-anthropomorphic shape of primitive representations. Ancient Egypt alone preserved primitive gnosis and gave expression to the language of signs and symbols, and it was here that the first elemental powers were divinized. Here that totemism, stellar, lunar, and solar mythology originated. This is from Gerald Massey's book, Ancient Egypt, the Light of the World. And this is Puta, 3 statues of the dwarf god, Pataikos, son of Putari. Look at that. This is not a European, this is an African. Straight, we are the descendants of the old, we are the root race. Ptah, who is the lord of Memphis, from whose name Egypt was derived, is Huatika Ptah, home of the soul of Ptah, of which the Greeks could pronounce Huatika Ptah and said Egyptos, is the parent connection to the Great Lakes, we have shown the images. The ancient god base was also a Twa. Imhotep was also a Twa. All the gods, all the nectars were also Twa. And from Central Africa is the original supreme date. We know that Africans formulate the concept of the creator discovery. News, all non-Africans are part Neanderthal. Genetic confirms that. You can study there. And you say, according to this account, Africans have been on the earth 10 million years before the evolutionary development of ape species. So we are not from apes. Therefore, how could the Bantu or the Twa, who were there 2.8 billion years ago, have evolved from monkeys, which came about 10 million years ago? So here is what this magazine say here. This website says, it says, if your heritage is non-African, you are part Neanderthal. According to a new study in the July issue of Molecular Biology and Evolution, Discovery News has been reporting this on human Neanderthal and interbreeding. So let's watch. Here is draft sequence of a Neanderthal genome. And here is what is found. 320 years ago, they started to evolve. But I said 2.8 billion years ago, we were already walking the earth. So we couldn't have evolved from them, from anybody. Some people evolved from that. Self-testimony. Africans are the oldest. They said that. Our ancestors said that. So it's up to you to believe your ancestors or believe other scholars. The late County C.F. Holney, in his book, The Ruins of Empire, writes, all religions originated in Africa. Correct and true. The Ethiopians conceive themselves, says Diodorus, a Greek historian, to be of greater antiquity than any other nation. Correct and true. They suppose themselves also to be the inventors of divine worship. Correct and true. Of festivals, correct and true. Of solemn assemblies, correct and true. Of sacrifices and every other religious practice, correct and true. There they are, our ancestors, billions and billions of years ago. Not the X that he has there. Listen to this. This is very critical. You can look at this and study this on this website. But I want to read this, which is very important and interesting. It says that Twa did not have a traditional religious system. Very important to understand that. They simply lived in tune with nature. That's what we do. That's why they called us animists. That's what they called us, because the scholars, modern scholars from Europe, misunderstood us. Therefore, religion was developed from the traditions, the customs, daily rituals, mental archetypes, and symbols of the Twa and their children, the Nubians, Ethiopians, Kushites, us. Diodorus Siculus, 1st century BCE writer, shows that the Egyptian religious philosophy and its laws, Mahatic customs, and burial rites governing statues and their systems of writing from Nubia. Furthermore, the gods Neteru of ancient Egypt, borrowed by Greece and Rome, were of Ethiopian ancestry. You can read this book by J.A. Rogers, Sex and Race, Volume 1. Of ancient Egyptian civilization, we read their maternal ancestors were Ethiopians and Eritreans, but their parental ancestor was West African. These ancestors were the original dynastic ruling classes. Open, straightforward, open, clear. Source: Diodorus of Sicily, the Library of History, Diodorus Siculus, published Volume 1 of the Lower Classical Library Edition, 1935, chapters 1 to 11. This, we are giving sources here. We are not even speculating. We are giving solid, immovable proof. Anyone who comes and doubts that doesn't know what he's arguing about. In conclusion, therefore, we Bantus, we black people found in every part of the earth, we are the ancestors alive today. We have come back. We are the oldest race on earth. The spheres are not natural objects, correct, and their origin is known. It's us who made it. They obviously were created by intelligent beings. Africans created them. Genetics and the origins of who and what is God came from our ancestors. That's open, that's clear, straightforward, no arguments there. We are descended from the oldest race on earth. Our African ancestors established the God concept. I am God because I'm directly connected with the first created being on earth. If you don't believe this, that's your choice. This is Priest Teacher Rabbi Elim Tim Zulu. Subscribe to our channel, Committee Hebrew Ethics. The African reality is the true maker of the universe. The creator of our ancestors is us. Till we meet again, Salani Kahle. Thank you. Goodbye.